what's at 2?
Good evening, everybody. Today's date is Monday, September the 20th, 2021. My name is Christopher James, and it's a pleasure to have you here with me this evening. It's just little old me this evening, and I literally just flew into this chair moments before we started.
Hello, and thank you for calling Vodafone.
Oh my goodness, it's really picking up, but it's all great people. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. First, I just want to
Bloody hell. Frequencies are very strong. Oh, ridiculous. That's in German. Eastern Star, the Order Eastern Star was a Masonic body open to both men and women. It was established 1850 by lawyer and educator Rob Morris. Noted Freemasons only adopted and approved a body of Freemason fraternity. The order is based on some teachings from the Bible, but is open to people of all religious. So why believe that? Yeah, Australia. AI, transhumanism, you'll be owned by the big tech. I saw that earlier. Good. Oh my gosh, you're joking me. In England. They're cutting sick pay for employees at Morrison's in England if they don't take the you-know-what. Oh my lord. This is demonic. HughTalks.com. Boycott their stores, never go back. Thinking it. What other shops gonna follow? I can't play this on this platform. No, they've got it on YouTube, so.
Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks. Supermarket Morrison's has announced that they are going to cut sick pay for non-jabbed workers, it says here in The Guardian. So, Morrison's, you've added yourself to the blacklist. This is a supermarket to avoid from now on. It says here Morrison's is cutting sick pay for unvaccinated workers who need to self-isolate as the UK's fourth largest supermarket tries to pare back the biblical costs of the pandemic after a slump in profits, it says here in The Guardian. So Morrison's are making out they are having a hard time financially and are using this as an excuse to discriminate against their workers by cutting pay for people who have decided to not have the jab. It doesn't make any... Look, so if you've had the jab, you get the virus, or you're pinged, all right, and you have to isolate, that's fine with Morrison's and you get sick pay. But if you haven't, then no sick pay for you. You could be unjabbed at work and work with people who have been jabbed, who get the virus, and you, the unjabbed one, get pinged, told to isolate because you work in the same building as them, but they're going to get the sick pay and you won't. It makes total sense, doesn't it?
No.
Of course it doesn't. Be sure to not go into this store ever again. Morrison's have also been talking about shortages that they reckon are going to hit around Christmas, just like all the other supermarkets have been talking about. And let's face it, all of these supermarkets are going to probably do the same thing. I've already heard from 2 people about Christmas adverts that many of these supermarkets are going to be putting out in December. They are working on them now, and they include propaganda, if what I've been told is true. So these supermarkets, they know what is going on. They know what is being planned ahead of time. Yes. And they are going to be used, I can guarantee you that, to enforce control over the population. So always try and shop local. Avoid the supermarkets as much as possible. Use your local grocer, your local butcher. Yeah, I know the supermarkets are cheaper. And of course, continue to use them to stock your pantry. So you've got a load of tinned goods, a load of food to keep you going if things get really bad in the future. But, you know, one way to take away their power is to take away your custom. As always, thanks for listening. Come and subscribe to...
So that's it. Let's get off that. Save my data. Yeah. They just at me, they're just hacking me. It's time for me to get some rest somehow. No. Oh, I'll put this on. Right. Done. No, the radio ain't my bloody body. I went out the bloody Wi-Fi for a short period of time. You see they're already blocking this. I'm not dealing with it because it's, you know what. Right, let's check. They're diverting the traffic. What's that one? Go to that channel and they'll be doing the same. Okay, I thought so. Oh, look at this. UN, the UN, United Nations General Assembly kicks off Watch Live, in New York City. Gotta hear this propaganda. This is global elite's agenda, powers that be, listen, hacking in, whatever. Oh look, 8 hours ago, United President spoke at the UN. Oh look, and they've got gas shortages, it's all kicking off by design. 4 remarks, the UN. It's what she's put it on, but no, the one that's live, I don't know what it's meant to be about.
Even laughing with a mate needs 99% UK coverage. 3.
République centrafricaine. Je fonde l'espoir que vous resterez mobilisés dans cet élan de solidarité internationale aux côtés du peuple centrafricain dans sa quête de paix et de relèvement économique. Je souhaite donc plein succès à nos travaux. Vive la coopération et la solidarité internationale. Je vous remercie.
Au nom de l'Assemblée générale, je tiens à remercier le chef de l'État de la République centrafricaine de l'allocution qu'il vient de prononcer. Et je prie le protocole de bien vouloir accompagner son Excellence.
It's based in New York City, so why are they talking foreign? Where's the head office?
Je donne maintenant la parole au représentant de Somalie pour qu'il introduise.
Oh look, you got the President Moon something as a Sustainable Development Goals movement in English. China.
President Abdullah Said, Secretary General Antonio Guterres, distinguished delegates, I am extremely delighted to join you at SDG Moment 2021, and I am grateful for inviting me to this special occasion. A research institute of the United Nations recently released a report that found that all disasters in the world are interconnected. For instance, the heat wave in the Arctic and cold wave in Texas, as well as the COVID-19 pandemic and Cyclone Amphan that hit Bangladesh, are closely connected with one another through the links of carbon emissions and environmental destruction.
Really?
If the problems are interconnected, then so be the solutions. When humanity transcends national boundaries to work together, that in and of itself would be first step towards surmounting a crisis. Right in this hall 6 years ago, the UN agreed to adopt the Sustainable Development Goals, and 2 years ago, it proclaimed the Decade of Action until 2030.
You can't make this up.
Humanity's strides towards an inclusive future were held back by COVID-19. Yet, ironically, it was the very pandemic that brought home the desperate need for SDGs. Our commitment to action grew stronger. We must move ourselves beyond simply overcoming the crisis to build back better and stronger. If actions that we take together are interconnected, we will deliver without a doubt.
Really?
First, our commitment to inclusion and mutual prosperity must be immediately put into action now. That action can begin with an equitable access and distribution of a to COVAX AMC. As one of the global vaccine hubs, we're committed to making continued endeavors to expand vaccine supply and support. Taking a step further, we stand to actively contribute to strengthening international health cooperation at WHO. Second, we must collaborate beyond our borders in responding to the climate crisis. Our planet is getting hotter faster than anticipated. The extreme weather events occurring one after another in every part of the world. Carbon neutrality is a goal that developed and developing countries alike must move towards. To this end, leading countries in climate action must partner with developing countries by sharing their experiences and transferring technologies. Korea plans to finalize its 2050 carbon neutrality scenario by the end of October and submit its updated NDC at COP26. Korea will scale up Green New Deal ODA and share its experience and technology as a nation that has grown from a developing to a developed one, thus actively supporting developing countries in their endeavors towards green recovery and carbon neutrality. Third, sustainable development demands that we fully harness the fourth industrial revolution technologies. Digital technologies and infrastructure, however, engender new divides and inequalities at the same time. Addressing the digital gap and inequalities thus presents another challenge of our time. These are the problems that we also encounter in energy transition process. Our digital and green transitions, therefore, must be inclusive and leave no one behind.
Lastly, we must respect our future generations and gather the wisdom for intergenerational coexistence. We must move beyond our differences in ideas and cultures across generations. All generations, as we strive to transcend the boundaries of nationality, race, and gender, to communicate and connect one another, must recognize that after all, part of a global community. Poverty, inequality, climate change, and other crises that remain unresolved by older generations, voices of future generations must be heard more attentively, as so doing would indeed be a duty asked of the older generations. Fearing change, the older generations have left many problems and
blame the older generation. Oh, come on.
We must not forget, in particular, that the future belongs to our futurists. Joining us today are an exceptionally outstanding group of young men who are connecting with the youth across the world, BTS, in the capacity as a special presidential envoy for future generations and culture. Together with BTS, the first ever special envoy for the director, I hope today's gathering will serve as an opportunity to mobilize the future generations' goodwill and action towards development. Guided by the conviction that no one is safe until everyone is safe. The Korean people will join the journey of inclusive international cooperation as your most steadfast companion, leaving no one behind. Thank you.
Of course not. You can't leave anyone behind in the global takeover.
So I am going to introduce the next speaker to the podium. Probably the artist that is most loved by people around the world.
It's going digital art now. That's the new technology.
Who have been designated as the special presidential envoy for future generations and culture. We're going to listen to their story, the BTS.
It's what I'm just watching their symbolism, the UN in the hall. Not many people there. Oh, they are young. What propaganda. 8 of them.
Your Excellency Abdullah Shahid, President of the 76th United Nations General Assembly, Your Excellency Secretary General Antonio Guterres, Your Excellency President Moon Jae-in, and distinguished leaders from around the world. It is an honor to be here today. We're BTS, appointed as Special Presidential Envoys of the Republic of Korea. We're here today to share the stories of our future generation. Before we came here, we asked the young people in their teens and 20s around the world about their past 2 years and about the world they find themselves in today. Jin will share some of the answers we received. Yes, should we take a look? You can feel the good vibes from just
They're
looking
all
at
Chinese youth. Oh my
There were
gosh.
times during the past 2 years when I too felt bewildered and troubled. But still here, we have people who cry out, let's live on, let's make the best of this moment. Because we can't stand still when we are in the ideal time of our lives to take on new challenges. It wasn't as if we could blame anyone, and you must have felt the frustration. Here I'm the same as I was yesterday, but the world changed like we were transported in a flash to a parallel world. I was saddened to hear that entrance and graduation ceremonies had to be cancelled. These are moments in life you want to celebrate, and missing out on them must have been upsetting. We were heartbroken when our long-planned concert tours were cancelled. And for a while, we yearned for the moments we wanted to make complete. Yes, it was a time for us to mourn for the things that COVID took away from us. A time to discover how precious each and every moment we'd taken for granted were.
Wow.
Suga mentioned the precious things we'd taken for granted, and lots of people answered our question by sharing pictures of their precious moments. Many people showed how they share their moments with nature. I think during these 2 years, they found dear the time they experienced and care for nature.
Wow, well trained.
Yes, but maybe because we feel an encroaching sense of dread that our time on this earth is limited, we just talked about the things we mourn, and I shudder to think about mourning for the earth.
Well polished.
Everyone agrees that climate change is an important problem, but talking about what the best solution might be, that's not easy. It's a topic that's tough to make conclusions about. Yes, it is a tough discussion, but I learned while preparing for today that there are many young people who have an interest in environmental issues and choose it as their field of study. The future is unexplored territory, and that's where we, more than anyone, will spend our time. So these young people are to the question of how we must live that future. I hope we don't just consider the grim darkness. We have people who are concerned for the world and there are still many pages left in this about us. I shouldn't talk in place even if you're it's a stretch to say they're lost just because the paths they tread can't be seen by grown-up eyes.
Wow, can't believe this.
Yes, take a look at these pictures. Here we have many who are trying hard to continue their friendships online in new ways, start learning new things.
I can't watch this propaganda. There's the in New York, they're talking about Agenda 2030, Agenda 2050, and there's about 7. They've got the different nations, countries, representatives at the United Nations. Who's behind everything with the policies and documentations of the demonic manner, and they've trained is it Korean? You've got the Special President Envoy for Future Generation and Culture. Wow, and they're well groomed, pushing the advanced future technology, transhumanism. The way they're talking, it's anybody hasn't researched what sustainability, smart cities, 5G, and now 6G, they're pushing that. AI, digital currency, control. Let's see if anyone's really commented anything in a logical way. One world army, one world police, one world this, one world that. Is anybody waking up in the comment sections? Wow. The alternative platforms out there, social media, are telling the truth. The future. What future when they're crashing the economy, food supply chain, weather, etc., modification, hyping up over, you know what? They're so, I don't know what kind of life they have in their own country, but my goodness me, calling it a lost generation. And blaming the older population when they fought all these wars over the years, the bankers' wars over the years. Good gracious. Just as the UN Assembly 2021 is called. And mainstream media, of course, are taking this on. Unexpected happiness? Oh my gosh. It's just like, you know, a diversion. I wonder whether those youth really knows in Korea. There's all different types of people from walks of life, but are they completely controlled? Is that a communist state? I'm not sure. Like what's happening in Australia, you know? When they say words like global, you need to watch out for that, because that is what will, well, people might already know anyway. Yeah, people need to be inspired so they don't get tortured to death by the technology and get all the BS set up that goes on. My gosh. So, Yeah. Oh, cut me off again, have you? Oh, they're demonic. It's demonic. So, Tanya, if you hear this eventually, you will know. I'll try to go live, but it's really demonic what they're doing over Demon right now. She's in Australia. Demonic, demonic, demonic. It is demonic. I'm not going to read any BS that's happening. That is one point I want to do, to play this in the background. And then I'll get off this. I need to get some sleep.
No, it doesn't matter. It's real simple. They're using these acts and statutes against you to have jurisdiction. That's control. So you simply attack the acts and that are written by people that work for the service corporations, whatever state you live in, province, whatever. Whoever wrote them, right? Prove that documentation which these legal proceedings are moving under applied by. See, there's two things you go back on for those of you that aren't aware. In the legal world and the lawful world, in the legal world, they have a thing known as the statute of limitations. That's a nice little catch-all they got there to basically screw over somebody if they've missed that 7-year statute window, so to speak, in their legal realm, the fiction realm. But in the legal world and also the lawful world, there are two things that are identical. And that is, number one, if fraud is present at any time before, during the proceedings, that eviscerates all. Okay, it resets the entire court case and everything that's been going on. But the big one is jurisdiction. Okay, jurisdiction, control.
Yeah.
Jurisdiction of the correct, moving under the correct law. Okay, so remember the word law: land, air, water. What are lawyers work here? Admiralty, maritime. That's the W. That's water. All right, they deal in legal. They deal in contracts. That's what the legal world is supposed to be about, right? Contracts between corporations. That's it. Legal world's got nothing to do with a man or woman. And anyone who tries to tell you that, run from them. Okay. The lawful world, the L for law stands for land. That's the common law. That's what's common to every man and woman here in our communities, okay? It's not the law that's written down anywhere. We know the difference between right and wrong, and we don't administrate property without right. And we are never to trespass against another man or woman and cause their harm. That's how simple it is. When you move your claim court at the public court outside of a bar, you have your symbol claim saying, I claim the wrong of trespass. Did cause wrong and harm, then your second line is, I require the immediate restoration of property. Right? If you had a car damage, whatever the trespass is, you wish made whole if you're obviously at that courthouse because you were unable to settle this on the private side with 3 communications to the man or woman that did trespass you in the first place. And it's that simple. You put it before the jury of your peers, decide whether your claim be true. Of course, after the man or woman that you're moving to court against, they have their opportunity as well to bring forth any evidence that they have that will somehow defend them against this claim, not a sissy complaint that the bar files. Okay, so that's how simple it is. All right, and moving forward here, people need to understand we're under a lot of stress right now. What's going on in our world with the COVID-19 lie that's occurring, and I guess I should first drill down on. Let's talk first, I guess, about Gabriel. Gabriel and I, we filed a week today, September the 13th, the filing into the OPD brass, the highest levels of that, to basically put them on notice that, number one, we've all been lied to, and number two, it requires their immediate attention to the evidence that later to them. And that evidence can be found at bit.ly /AWC evidence. Okay, bit.ly /AWC evidence. All right. When you click on that link, that is going to take you to not only the filings that went into the OPP with Gabriel and myself, because for those of you that are new or maybe didn't see last week, we basically have told them that we are willing to put lives on the line, okay, under penalty of death, if anything that we claim is not true, because that's how serious it is right now in our world. I'm blessed to have a man like Gabriel stand with me. He's a great man. More and more, I just really appreciate him as time goes on here. As we're coming closer and closer together. We're pulling people together. There's been some great success over the last several years here at our end, which has been fantastic. People are finally reaching out. I guess that's what they needed. They needed that spark to see some Gabriel step up into the light. It's allowed the transition now for me to be involved with them a lot simpler now. So let's just say they're coming in droves. I have no doubt that we're going to hit our numbers in the next few weeks here. So it's very exciting in that regards. But getting back to Gabriel, on September the 13th, we filed our claim, all right, to the brass of the OPP, and we basically told them that we've all been lied to. And the link that I just gave you there before, bit.ly/AW Stevens, that is the website which all of you need to go to, okay? We need to mobilize. People always email and ask me, what can I do, what can I do? Well, this is what you have to do. You got to do it now, okay? You download all that documentation first off that link that you get there, the documents files, and then you go to the video side of it as well, and you download all the videos as well. Put them onto, if you can, I don't know if it's going to fit, probably to go onto a USB stick, but you can always, within the communication that you see, we filed on September the 13th, the very last page, all the videos, all the evidence, all the links that are out there working today. In the event that they don't work, that's why we created this Dropbox, okay? For anyone in the world can go to it. You can download it, you can get all the evidence at the time, put everything on a little zip drive, and you walk that over to your local police station. And you inquire of them, okay, that they file this, you're filing a criminal complaint. That's in their world, but you tell them you're filing a claim of trespass against all of us. You've been lied to, and this is serious. That every single second of every single day that goes by, another child, another man or woman is committing suicide, another family being torn apart, all right? Every second of every day now matters, okay? And that's why you've all got to step up right now. You've got to download the package and walk that into your local police station and require them to investigate Sam. Give you and let them know this is following with the rest of the OPP. They've been unable to respond as of today. We gave them until 5 o'clock today. We gave them actually 48 hours before the first kangaroo court on Wednesday last week. And then there was a man that was Mike, was his name, fucking Thorne or something. He was the man that was adjudicator for this, kangaroo court that they created surrounding Gabriel and his family and 20 other people that were basically in a park back in earlier this year, in March, I believe it was, or April, and they basically, told to leave, or they're going to be charged, and this and that. Those of you can go back and watch the last week.
It is our duty and obligation very greatly to make the following announcement and decree. On this day, the 28th day of March 2015,
you never give up hope.
it is now confirmed on the recorders of this day, the 28th day of March 2015.
And there's a lot more. There's a firefighter that reached out to me with 55 firefighters on the weekend. Sent the communication out there because they are being mandated now to wear the jab. Not wear the jab, to get the jab, get the injection. Right? This is where they're hitting the road people. It's not just the firefighters,
office, the police
school
conduct.
teachers,
Norfolk Chief Constable of Great Manchester Police,
all right?
2021.
It's coming down everyone I know around me, my friends and family, okay? In their professional capacity, they're being trespassed on left and right because of this massive truth of ignorance that we've been lied to from COVID-19 doesn't exist within the minds and hearts of my fellow man. That is why this package that was created on September the 13th that was filed, all of you watching this tonight to download it and to your local police station and file it.
King anointed,
send me an email and tell me, Chris, on this date, send it to warriorcalls@open.com and send me an email saying, Chris, I just filed this today. It's into their hands right now. They realize what's going on with you. That you're doing, and everybody else is coming to the table because this is the only discussion. Okay, this is the only game in town. Not an I love me thing. All right, I've gone right so powerfully for the jugular of this evil. All we have to have a conversation on is that we've been lied to. I've been laid bare now with this link that I've given everybody. Okay, so anybody that views this information, they've got to come back and have evidence that's verifiable, facts. Okay, they counter the evidence that we've laid bare at Gabriel on September the 13th, and they're not going to be able to do that, okay? Because if they're going to bring something, it's not going to be verifiable. They're going to pull some crap out of some computer model, or this is what we got some other lab from the other side of the world. But when you saw the incredible work that Massey has done, and so I wish I had a little bit more time. But Kristen and Gabriel managed to meet each other. They wound up in Ottawa for the talk that was there. Gabriel was about 1,000 there, but I heard nice to see it. I don't have time for it, but I heard that there was a great turnout of about 18,000 people, between 15 and 20, I think they said, in Toronto. So God bless you. And that wonderful police officer, Gibbons, she spoke to the crowd, and just we've been in contact with her now. And many more officers. Okay, there's a large pool of them that are livid with what's going on. So they see that Gabriel has done by filing this claim with myself, and they are coming to the table. So like I said, built a day, but it is finally happening. That's all I can say to you right now. Okay, we're finally coming together. We're expediting things at our end as possible to get these communications and decide, okay, who's good and who's not good. As you can tell by right now, is if by 5 o'clock, or until tomorrow morning, if we have not received the communication from Thomas Karaki, the chief of the OPP, and these other underlings that have been trespassing against this incredible man, Gabriel, simply for going hard, then we're going to rope these bastards out. Okay, pardon my language, okay, but there's no more nicety, okay? Everybody who's been with me for a very long time, God bless you, many of you had emails to Thomas Karaki and Steve Tanner, the chief of police of Halton Regional Services, right? Almost 500 emails went to these two people surrounding the Sekleski court and produce the evidence that the rules of civil procedure apply to we the people, because that's what the bars use to block us from. And that's what police see now also, okay? That's why this is big. Now, this is a turning point, because little maggots who wear the black robes, these little parents that call themselves crown attorneys, you're finished. Every single one of you. Because when you see the white of my eyes in the courthouse, you better know it's over for you, okay? You're going to be most likely locked up for the rest of your life. This enormous wrong and harm that you've all been doing. Today was interesting. They switched it up with, I'll finish up with Gabriel. So Gabriel and team managed to meet at Ottawa, which was great. They sent me a picture. I'll have to show it on Thursday show. I didn't have enough time here today to do it. But she's on the record, God bless Christine, and she continues to send out the communications to people aware of what is going on here. So obviously taking it's correct, how should we say, response that we've been planning for, because Gabriel has had an enormous amount of laws to reach out to him. Let's just leave it at that. And like I said, me on the weekend with the firefighters, about 5 of them, that's going to grow hopefully to a nationwide thing now, because actually what everybody is the communication here. I guess I could do that. Didn't plan to do it. Actually, I'm going to play a short video. I'm going to play the video. I'll bring it back for everybody. So that's where it's at. We had Friday. We sent off a communication to which I showed on the last Thursday with Gabriel. That was the man that was the head adjudicator for this, tribunal that they're moving against, for disorderly conduct against Gabriel. So he didn't have it on September 13th notice of trespass that we filed on the Monday. We first met this man, hearing him over the phone basically on the Wednesday morning. So we made sure that he received it by Friday. I think on Friday, and we gave him 48 hours. We gave him until Monday at 5 p.m. today to respond with evidence counter to the claim that we've made, and we've given all this evidence to everybody, and we have not heard a peep from anybody, right? This is typical bullshit, okay? But they're not going to us anymore, because these people that are the senior management of the OPP, they're finished, okay? I've exposed these people already with this Sekleski court, what they've been doing, and I got 10 other cases behind that, especially my father's pension case, right? You wonder why I got to beat him about all these people themselves that think that they protect and serve. They're nothing like Gabriel, okay? They're nothing like Maxine. And they're nothing like a lot of other great men and women out there that are in law enforcement, be it municipal level, the provincial level, or the federal level. These maggots that are at the top of these service corporations, the OP and the RCMP, well, you better believe that they've been compromised, okay? And we can't write this anymore, because life's in the balance here. Okay? If these people had any integrity, any honor, they would have written back to Gabriel, realizing, my God, here's a man that's within our rights, who has incredible courage. He's stepping up in the light, and he's putting his life up no different than I have, right? We swore that anything that's not true, we take our lives. That's the rubber in the road, okay? They cannot think this is some sort of conspiracy theorist or we're off our rock or whatever, all right? I don't make a claim to do this. I don't know about you, but how many people put your life on the line?
Yep.
For something of this magnitude. For me, there's no other option, okay? This has to be shown the seriousness and the severity of what is actually going on. So this is actually making its way now, like I said, through many different law enforcement agencies right across. I would like to thank Patricia, Olga, and Stav, and the team that's back there as well. They're pushing this, and for those of you that are part of these groups, these common law groups, okay, with all due respect, time for talking is over. Okay, we've given you the bullet is that package, and you've got to all mobilize and start firing that off to all these police chiefs. Okay, do them outside your district as well. Get it to them. Send it registered mail. Email it, fax it, whatever you've got to do to get attention initially. Obviously, you can't fax the whole thing, but at least register mail if you bring it to somebody outside of your territory, and make it crystal clear to them that we require, that means demand, that they take action. Okay, and that they do their jobs that require them to protect and serve we the people. Because, like I said, this is very serious right now. What's going on? We cannot tolerate these people to ignore us anymore, because they're obviously exposing themselves to massive liability. They're actually condoning the death that's occurring right across our country right now. Okay, and I believe something tonight was some shit show in the election. I don't know. I can care less. Okay, because these people are corrupt and what they've been doing and lying to us. They're nothing more than a service corporation. Nothing that they do applies to we the people. And to Justin Trudeau, you better damn well have had at least, there's 37 million people in our country, 35. So you better have at least 18.5 million people that participated in this voting. Okay, because if you didn't even have 50% of the population, then there's another knock at your door, brother. You got no jurisdiction whatsoever. You have no control of your service corporation doing anything for we the people in this country. And that's how simple it is. Justin Trudeau took forward. They work for service corporations. One's called Canada, one's called Ontario. It's even called Service Ontario. It's right in your face. Does any company about Doug Ford apply to we the people? No. Unless he claims on property, we've got a contract with him. I see this again so people understand the simplicity of this. Or a contract with the service corporation that he is in charge of. Right? None of that stuff exists, people. That's why the skater has to stop her. This is really interesting for me because there's a lot of people that are out there in the movement. Take Big Mouse, okay? They talk and they've got their little shows they've been doing for a very long time here in Canada and abroad, right? They're aware now of what Gabriel and I have done. They're not doing a thing. They're not doing our shows, right? Why? Okay? We are going to root out every potential agent throughout this truth. Trust me. That's the power of this truth that's been laid before the OPP right now and our world. Okay? Grab hold of this now. England, they're using this as well. Evidence package in England and in Scotland. Okay? That's what the people are using, firing it off to the police. We require you to investigate this immediately. That's the power of what we're doing here right now. And that's why everyone in this country, you got to step up and you got to bring this to the attention of everybody. Whoever the new twit is that's been elected for your local provincial level or at the federal in the next day or whatever, you make sure that it gets this information. You get all over because they've got to step up and they've got to act. Okay, so what we're going to do moving forward here is we're going to hold their feet to the fire. There's a communication I'm going to prepare with Gabriel that they'll get by the end of tomorrow, and I'll make that clean here everybody on Thursday. We'll read that communication as well, because what's happening now is that as the other forces are finally coming together, these people that are within law enforcement, first line responders of impeccable character that understand that they're there to protect and serve the people, but they also know that something's very wrong. And now they've been given this evidence and they're like, oh my God, right? They realize the importance of us all together as quickly as possible. And once we come together, well, along that way, we're voting out these people that are obviously corrupt. They're in incredible places of trust and honor that we bestowed upon them, be it justices, be it crown attorneys, be it people heads of the Service Corporation Ontario or Canada, be it law enforcement, okay, be it doctors, nurses, right? It doesn't matter. Right? We have to stop this as quickly as possible now because they are pitting everyone against each other. And I got to do a shout out to Wendy Tim at the water store. I met an incredible woman on the weekend there. I was getting some water and her name's Wendy, and she was actually the lead person. She rides a Harley. God bless her. Beautiful woman, too. She rides a Harley, and she was in the Hamilton police rally that was, I guess, past Saturday. And they rode up somewhere in St. Catharines and Niagara Falls, and they came back and they finished at a place called Hutch's that's in Hamilton or Stony Creek, and 20 minutes from an old established place, so to speak. And she was the head of this motorbike group was riding right across Ontario to bring this attention to the police, etc. The thing was that she took her license, her motorbike, the plate, last week. She said when she was coming back from, I think she said from Columbia or whatever there a month ago, and she hasn't put it on. She said this is going to be interesting. So I look forward. I'll probably hook up with Wendy in a few days. I'll hear from her, and it'll be interesting to see what the police said with her leading everybody, and she didn't even have a license. I think that's what she told me she was going to do. And had I I just met her, just briefly walking in Tim's store. She goes, "Oh man, a man!" Pretty funny. So, and Tim sends his all love and appreciates his mom. Everyone's been supporting him, and he's very grateful. And Tim continues to be a community of Burlington here as well. So, if you are in the area, a little drive, go to Tim's water store and support him. Get the water from him. He's got the best distilled ever. That close over, as everybody knows as well, and it's just absolutely incredible. So, having said that, that's where we're at with moving forward, and we've got. I can't tell you the other great stuff that's happening. Let's just say already we have well over 100 officers now. That's how quickly it happened. Okay, we're going to be having a very powerful meeting later, everybody, and we're going to get the road. So, like I said, I personally feel that once I get my numbers, it's going to take us 4 to 6 weeks. Everybody on page, the simplicity of what's. Understand what we need to do, and then again along the way we're going to be exposing and routing out all these people that we already know that are corrupt at the municipal level, at the provincial level, and at the federal level. Now, I'll talk about Andrew Kwasniewski for a second. That's my Toro wine, people. I just managed to grab a glass of wine before I got in the chair. Andrew Kwasniewski, he's a gentleman, he's a truck driver. He was in court today. We prepared documentation ahead of time for the court. His notice of appearance that actually got done yesterday. You know what? I should actually show everybody this right now. I want to show it. So you have to understand, everyone, is that they're watching everything that I'm doing right now in the bar. They're aware of all the court cases that I'm involved in. And today I appeared again, recorded it for Andrew. And what basically happened was that, you know what? I can show it. Anyways, just give me a second here to find it. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'm going to play the short little video for everybody because this is an incredible video with Dr. Surri Bakar. I can't pronounce his name, but it's an absolutely beautiful piece that this man created, and it's about 4.5 minutes long. So while this is playing for everybody, I'm going to get the documents, and we've got the documents to go over here, and then after I do that, then we'll jump into some Q&A. Okay, so let me just do a quick share screen here. Oh, it's nice when things work. Anyways, guys, I'll play this for you. Enjoy, and I'll see you in a few minutes.
Chris, we can't hear the audio if you just want to unmute the mic icon.
That, as Peter McCullough has been saying for months now, will save the lives of 75% of the elderly with pre-existing disease. That reduces the lethality of this virus to below the flu in the elderly with pre-existing disease. Now you take that and think about it and go to those doctors and authorities in Great Britain, go to Boris Johnson and slam it on his table and say, what do you say to that, Mr. Boris?
I want to set out our plan managing COVID this autumn and winter. Those vaccines are... You've seen extraordinary vaccine-induced falls in deaths and serious disease.
I mean, if the BBC really has the brazenness, no, this is rare. And that guy was just dropped dead. He dropped dead because some other bar came around him, but it just happened at this. Haven't you know that? Oh, if this guy has a positive PCR test, although we all know that PCR test is lying 90% of the times, the BBC said, another case of the variant coming up. We have to keep this vaccine madness going and leave it.
Well, now, motoring ahead with booster program, a third dose 6 months after the second dose, and that's going, we're going to be building even higher walls of immunization, of vaccine protection. You know, literally 5 million more people could get a vaccine. Who haven't yet done so. And these are the people that I think we should be encouraging now to come forward, get your jab.
It's really bad. I feel very bad. But when people are doing something intentionally against you, that is why I said I was good, because I know that it's intentional.
You're morally 100% solid.
Yeah.
Understand? So the last time they said they came and tried to steal your house, they said they wouldn't arrest you, but they were prepared to manhandle you and drag you and cause you injuries.
Yes.
And you took your house back.
Yeah.
Came, tried to throw you out, gave you the keys back.
Yeah.
And now they turn up without a warrant again. By people.
Wow. That's in England for you. Seeing people's owners. An awfully process. Demonic. While they're hacking into my network, so nobody's coming into the chat. Department has that being monitoring. Let's just play that in the background some more.
For you,
Are you trying to force us to get vaccinated? If so, why? Or don't you know the dangers of these vaccines? If so, why not? It's your damn duty to find out. Same with authorities. Same, by the way, with BBC, one great British broadcasting corporation. Now, Boris or Bill's Broadcasting Corporation. Shame on you. Shame on you.
the result of this vaccination campaign is that we have one of the most free societies and one of the most open economies in Europe. And that's why we're now sticking with our strategy.
You British, you belong to the most honorable, tourist, most educated people in the world. How keep on believing this? I mean, the truth is showing out at you, that you are being lied to, that you are being to do something because by doing this, someone else is gaining a terrible lot. You are going to lose everything. You're on the way to losing everything.
We are confident in the vaccines that have made such a difference to our life. And we're now intensifying that, offering jabs to 12 to 15-year-olds on the advice of the chief medical officers who've given that advice based on the health, well-being, educational prospects of the children
That's
themselves.
UK's Prime Minister.
Some will never recover. And now they start to vaccinate children. Boris Johnson, BBC, vaccinate the British children. You know, this is criminal.
Well, that broadcast on common law on the website warriorcause.com.
You know, this is criminal. Do you know that you are now witnessing the greatest crime that England has ever committed in its history? Because what they're doing now, they're doing to their own people.
But I'm going to stop and mute this for a minute.
cab of his truck. You believe it? Right? You might have heard the one day too that one of these dumb people at the border or whatever, she screamed
Absolutely unbelievable. Right, 4 in the morning, 22nd of the night, 2020, they're blocking all communications and internet networking in UK. The demonic gang stalking targeted program. Yeah, they're monitoring online for over hours, getting kept awake situation. I can listen to stuff and I've heard it. At my bloody phone, you know, nasty demon.
Right, 4 in the morning, 22nd of the night, 2020, the block of all communications and networking UK. Demonic gang stalking targeted program. Yeah, they're monitoring.
Fucking me, you stupid twats. Demons. Cast you out in the pit of hell. Nika, you bloody cut it off. I just cut this off. Look at that. You're just...